Hello everyone, welcome to the final video of the 2019 Go Congress game review series. If you don't know, because you haven't watched the other videos, I'm currently 2-3, 2 wins and 3 losses, going into the final round. 6 rounds total, and yeah, I really wanted to go out like with a solid win, and mentality wise, since I missed a very not simple but a pretty easy life and death in the last game, I really wanted to test my reading this game. I really wanted to try to read as much as possible, and really just test my abilities on the Go board. My opponent, Hyodo Shunichi, 6 down from Japan. He's part of, if you've been to the Go Congress, every year a group of elder Japanese men come from Japan who are very strong, and they come every year, and they look like they're having a ton of fun. So this is my first time getting to play any of them in tournament. Now my opponent is an interesting fellow because his style is pretty unorthodox, especially in the opening. This wasn't the game I played with him, but he was next to me during my, I believe, 4th round game. And I don't know where white played. He was black in the game, but he did something like this. This was his opening moves against his 4th round opponent. So I kind of, when I noticed he was my opponent for the final round, I got a little, not upset, but like I was like, oh, is he gonna do something crazy against me? Like, am I not gonna have a serious game for my final game? Like, I was pretty bummed out about it. Thankfully, he played somewhat orthodox, but you'll see he makes some very interesting moves. Definitely not as unorthodox as what I just showed you, though. But I am black, and he is white. So you can already see he's playing 5-4 and 3-5. So whenever your opponent plays unorthodox like this, the first thing you want to do is stay calm. Like I was telling you, when I found out he was my opponent, I was a little bummed out, stuff like that, but I should not let that stuff get to me. So when I sat down, I just zen, calm, just focus on the game, right? So, and then when they play unorthodox like this, they want they know the tricks up for these unorthodox corner moves, so you just don't want to fall into those traps. So just let them do what they're doing. You stick to your plan, and they'll stick to their plan, because through years of study and AI, we know that these kind of moves are not good. So if you just let them do their thing, they're gonna get a bad result, most likely. So I just take my large enclosure, they approach, and then back off. You can already see you'd rather have this stone here than have it there. So already their stones are inefficient. I take the 3-3, kick, and then they play the knight's move, and I just slide under. Preserving, there's a ladder potential here, which I probably should have taken. They play here, which there's actually this is still wide open. So when let's say, I can, let's see, what am I trying to say? I can do this one and live pretty easily. If they go here, I can extend, and if they block, you play this Hane, I guess. Because if they do anything, you can see that I'm threatening to come out here, so I need to protect, but then you can live in the corner. Like this. So this corner is still wide open. They can attach here, but even if you can attach here, you can make a tiger's mouth, you can attach there. Like, there's so many options. So this corner is still not theirs. And I know that, so okay, I'll just keep building my right side. Shoulder hit and jump. I believe this jump is a ladder breaker as well. Yep, it's a ladder breaker. So I really wonder if I should have just done this immediately, because it is pretty severe for white, especially when white can't capture the stone in a ladder. Yeah, but I guess I was staying calm. They shoulder hit and then jump, clamp. I'm really just trying to like, this basically just solidifies the entire right side. Attach and cut. I don't really know why they cut. They just lost like a ton of points in the corner. Because this move is now humongous. It's pretty big. So I don't know what these exchanges were for. I would rather they just do something else. I would try to guess where they would play, but you can see that they play pretty unorthodox. If they played standard, I would maybe guess something like that. I don't know though. Again, I don't know how to play with unorthodox openings, so it's pretty hard for me to try to decide what's best for them. But you can see I'm really just still avoiding their opening, right? I know their side's inefficient, mine's pretty efficient, so there's no need to try to do anything yet. Attach, which this is a bad move. You'd rather attach here when they have the large Shamari like this. So never, with this large Shamari, never attach here, because the corner gain is too big for black. Then they play this one, so now they solidified the corner, but you can see, like, we know that, oops, let's do white stuff. So like, we know, like, this solidifies the corner, right? How many moves did it use? 2, right? This move, while it doesn't solidify the corner is relatively safe, right? Same thing with these and same thing with these. But when it looks like this, the corner is still wide open, right? So this is why this is not good. Plus, they eventually had to go here. How efficient is the shape in the corner? It's as if, you know, white maybe did that and then went here, which this is a normal opening, but then they went there, right? This is called Tawari analysis. It's when you change the order of moves and see if some of the moves don't still make sense. And in this case, you can see that these moves here don't make sense when you put them in a different order. So while white eventually had to play there, for sure, you can see that by playing inefficient like that, they had to come back and spend a move. Plus, they're playing all this center-oriented stuff. I don't know why they're so concerned about the corner. The left side is clearly bigger than the upper left corner. So then I invade. I poke at the shape spot, right? Threatening to connect under or coming out, or extending on along the left side. So I have 3 options. So they take away the one option, and now I have 2 options. Now, so I can either extend up or come out into the center or extend along the left side. Now I wish, so in the game I pushed up and then extended. This push here is super Ajikeshi and bad. Because I'm saying this stone is super valuable, but it's already had its use. Like, I've solidified the corner, white shape isn't good, I should just extend. If white wants to swallow one stone, I should let white do that, right? Plus, there's still, for later, this cut across here that I can look at. Again, right now it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work as cleanly because even though white has the ladder, I can cut this way actually. Yeah, but once I play this one, you can see white's now all connected. And now these stones are heavy, so definitely not a good exchange. And then they play here, and then I bump up like this. It just, because once white does this, I realize that white attaching here is a very, very large move. Because white would be able to do something like this, and the corner isn't alive yet. I'm still weak here. If I cut, yeah. So I definitely wanted to prevent this attachment. So I wanted to go here, and call me crazy, but I was treating these lightly, even though literally all of white stones are facing these 3 black stones. Yeah. So white jumps into the middle. I do not like this move. Not just because of the result, but black has an open skirt on this side and on this side, right? So it's going to be very hard for black to make eyes locally, so white should just try to surround on a large scale. If white goes there, black could just jump out if black wanted to. And white's only capturing 2 stones. By doing this, white's going to be going after the whole group. Potentially, right? So I definitely like a move more center oriented than playing right here. Now this spot, even by itself, you'll see there's lots of aji. White bumps and then cuts. This is not good for white, and you'll see why in the game. What white should do, let's see, maybe Hane. If black cuts, Atari, and then extend here. This would be a good result for white, because if black captures, even though black captures that stone, even if white just turns here, black's shape is very bad. Very, very bad. Uncomfortable. And you can see the gain white has gotten on the left side and on the top. So black would need to give up like this, but if black does this, black has 2 cutting points, and white's pretty happy. So I probably would have done this one for sure. And then knowing me, I would have been like, oh, that's a good enough result for me. That's my crazy playstyle though. I might have even left it here. Like when they Hane it, I probably maybe even would have ignored. But you'll see what happens in the game is when I go here now, when white cuts, I can extend up, which is threatening the stones here, but also threatening to capture this 1 stone. So if white just comes down, black can net these and white cannot escape. If white saves from this side, black could then capture this stone. So the question is, how can white protect both? Because white can actually protect both. And my opponent was I definitely used more time than my opponent at this point, but they were not a super fast player, but they were pretty quick. But at this point, they spent maybe like 10 minutes. And they had a fan with them that they would play with when they were playing, and at the beginning he wasn't touching it at all or moving it, but I noticed whenever he started thinking, he would click the fan back and forth, and I realized whenever he was thinking harder and harder, he would click it back and forth even faster, which I thought was pretty amusing. But at this point, the fan was moving pretty quickly. So how does white protect both? Attaching here. So this is a very good move. If black cuts off white this way, when white descends, you can see white's going to threaten to capture. So if black tries to net, white could then capture. So if black tries to prevent that, we can see that white has now protected these stones and these stones. Okay, so what if black just goes here? Well, same deal. White can run out, and if black tries to capture, you can see because of this stone, white is now threatening to connect over here. So black needs to protect, but then white can descend here. And you can see if black comes down, white can cut, and it's going to be 2 liberties to 3 liberties. So black has to protect, but then white can protect, and you can see white's connected here and here. So this is a very good move. Now, I was not panicking though. I had the move scouted, and at this point, again, I played this move, right? So I can't expect a great result on the left side since I expended a move down here. So what I did in the game was, let's see, what did I do? I connected solidly, I think. Nope, I did not. I tarried once. Okay, tarry, connected. Again, threatening to capture these. White jumps. I push down, they connect, and then I protect here, which forces them to connect on the second line, and then I can push through and cut this, and they have to play this shape, and then I extend, which is threatening to push through here, so then they pull this out, and then I protected. So even though white captured 5 stones or 10 points, I was able to rip out and get influence facing white's influence. So this is a great result for black. So you always have to be willing to sacrifice stones and go, as long as you get like it's an actual sacrifice, implying that you get something from it, right? If I tried to save both sides, it would have turned out pretty bad. So just simplifying it by just giving up these 5 stones. And now white turns his attention to the right side. If you saw my lecture video on how to deal with moyos, this was the game. This was the, let's see, how good's my memory? I don't remember. I think the 4th game or something like that that I showed. So I'm going to briefly go over this Sabaki here because I already discussed it in that video. So if you're curious, go look at the video. Bad exchange for white, cut, and then they go here. This move should be here. Since white's starting to invest stones here, I should apply pressure on these stones. So, not sure why I really went here. But any result here is, like, black would pass and black would still have a good result. Yeah. Turn. This move is to help the liberty situation. If I capture, white could then play a jump here, and it looks like I can cut. But because of this exchange white made, white is actually connected. And you can see that white would be threatening many things here. Actually, that doesn't look too bad for black, does it? Because I have the ladder breaker. If white had exchanged this peep first before doing all this, then it would be a completely different story. But I was worried about this, but I guess there's not a whole lot to be worried about, is there? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it still solidifies the bottom, which I was happy with. They jump. I turn, big turn. Them turning is almost sente because it threatens to pull this stone out. Right? This would be pretty big. So it has a big effect on the bottom as well. Oops. Turn, and it does put pressure on this group too. So Atari, Hane, extend down. Then I fix. Yeah, I should just go there. I don't know why I'm playing so safe. Playing safe is good, don't get me wrong, but there was no need to in this case because I can just Atari this way. If they want to try to save the stone, it's gonna be pretty hard because I can make one eye going here in Sente, and they're very heavy, so I needed to go here. I don't know why I didn't go there, but here we are. Super safe move. So this was definitely a slack move. Also, they could also go this way, but even if I just give up this stone here, I could capture all these. So yeah, super safe, super bad. If you have an attack going here and your opponent ignores, don't follow them around, because it's as if white was able to play these moves for free, even though white has this group to worry about. Because then white connects, and they're starting to make eyes in the center, and I have to come back and protect, and they peep, and then they jump into the bottom anyways. Now there is Aji here, potentially, for them, because it's a knight's move, so I can cut across this, but I didn't do that yet. I play here once. Again, for some reason now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna surround you now that you have eyes. So little bit slow on the draw there, but that's fine. Jump. Like during the game I was still feeling good. Like this is only after the fact that I'm like, oh god, these aren't good moves. So definitely during the game I was doing okay. Peep once and then fix, so now white is completely surrounded and now needs to make two eyes. In the game I did not see this move. Again, playing way too fast, because this move should be an obvious move, right? I was like, oh, how can white make two eyes in this? Oh, white can just make two eyes on the side. So white has two eyes now. Then I shoulder hit. I think I could do this one instead because I'm so thick here, but I was just looking for Sente. Plus you'll see this move actually has a big effect because it protects when I want to go here, which was my main area of concern, because white needs to push through, but then I get to go here. And white needs to protect, so I've reduced white to the third line on the top, extend once, and they answer. And then again, at the beginning of the video I was explaining how after my game yesterday I was disappointed in my reading skills. So this is when I throw the game into chaos and I activate this cut. Like the safe move would be just to go here and say, okay, white, protect your cut. And then, because then I would solidify this, and honestly, this would be enough to win for black, I'm pretty sure. Because black actually can make a ton of points here, actually, like almost 15 to 20 points if I solidified this area. So by going here, it's kind of throwing the game into turmoil, like up in the air almost. Assuming, yeah, into turmoil. So they extend, so then I play here, and then they extend. Again, take out the base from the outside first before jumping in. They block. Again, still surrounding. And then they play this one. And then I play here. The point of this move is if I just extend, I wasn't super, let's see. You know, I probably could have just done this. But let's see. Could white do that? Or if white does that directly? Yeah, these 4 stones. Yeah, I guess this is okay for black actually. I would show you the full what I'm reading here, but it comes up later and I don't want to spoil one of the moves I play later. Plus this move felt Sente because I was threatening here, but of course when white goes here, it's like, oh, duh. I have to live in the corner, so white has gotten an eye in Sente anyways. Whoops. So white extends to make to an eye. I come down to make my eye, to make an eye in the corner, plus threatening their eye. And now I jump in. So this is when, like, half the reading time happened in this game, honestly. Like, if white dies, black wins. If white lives, it's still a game, right? So this wasn't like there's no way this would end badly for black unless, like, these stones get captured with these. So as long as white just lives small, it would be a win, right? Because maybe I would get points here as well. Yeah, probably capture this stone too. But when I played this, I had read the sequence out. So I'm very proud of this sequence. White blocks, of course. And then I cut. So this cut is very crucial. And you'll see why. And then, bam, connection. So this move is insanely vital to what happens. So why is it vital? Because, let's see. Because when white jumps, I can push through and cut this. And you can see if white Atari, and then connects, you can see now, because of this Atari, this would be a connected die. Because of this cut. So white would need to fix, but then I can push through here and win the semi-eye. Now, let's say I did not make this cut now, and I did this now. I don't know when. Maybe... Oops. Atari. And then white connects, and then I try to cut now. Oops. No, not that. Go here. What am I... Which one am I trying to... basically, if I try to cut... Somewhere if I try to cut... yeah, basically... I forget where. But if I try to cut later, white might... Oh, is it if white pushes? Oh, yeah. If white just pushes. Because if I block, white can Atari, and connect, I think. Yeah, and you can see, even though black would be able to... Black gets killed here. That's what I meant to say. Black goes this way. Black doesn't have enough liberties. Yeah. But if I try to, let's say right now, Atari this, of course white would just give up these stones. This would be a disaster for black. So by cutting first, it prevents white from pushing here. Because, of course, now white can't cut here, because instead of doing this one, I can take the stones off. So this cut is a pretty good move. Because right now, white's... Like, if white just lives now, or something, then I would just happily take this, and I haven't lost anything, right? White's now maybe even dead on the left side. So timing is everything, and I think this is perfect timing for black. Jump there. This is like, yeah, there's really nothing else white can do. If white goes this way, black can just go this way and connect. If white does this first, black can Atari here. And you can see, very similar to the other variation. Right? good for black, does it? What was that? Oh, just don't Atari, just extend. Um, yeah, because now this would be an Atari. Yeah. White cannot Atari this now because it would be a self Atari. So, yeah. Whew, I knew my reading was good, but yeah. Now, after the fact, I realized white actually has a move here to basically make all that reading I just showed you completely irrelevant. White can just do this first. And it looks strange because it's like, why would it change anything? But it actually changes a lot. Because locally black cannot go here, so black needs to do something like this. But then white can even Atari. And this is sent in. You can see white can connect. And if I try to kill this, let's see, does white do this one? If white goes there, Atari, Atari, connect, and you can see white would win this semi-eye between these stones and these stones. So, again, this wouldn't be game ending because I would capture and white would need to live with 2 points. And then I could go back to playing endgame, and I still think I would win, but white could still make this alive. Yeah, so by going there first, white would be able to make all this work, or white would be able to live. But I believe in the game white does try this. Cut. Or what did they do? Oh, they attached here. So then I connected. They attach. Capture. And at this point, I'm like, oh, have I killed this? Because if they take there, I can play here. But if they go here, I can play down once. And if they cut, I can capture. But if they capture, I can go here. And so I'm like, have I killed this? And then they played this move. And I'm like, wait. So they still live, but oh, I thought I could kill this. So then so now I was thinking, okay, what should I do first? Should I do this first, or do I Atari here? And then I look back at, because this was on my side of the table, so I was able to look very closely at it, right, like inches away. Also, just as a fun fact, at this point, my opponent's fan was flicking like 100 beats per minute almost. I wonder if it replicates his heartbeats while he's playing. But yeah, definitely took a long time on this move. But yeah, let's get back to the game. I was like, oh, because if I just connect, right, why would they be able to make 2 eyes? But if I drop down, white can go this way or capture first. And when I live, make 2 eyes. It's like, oh man, did I really mess? Like, is white really alive? But then I was looking at it more, and I'm like, wait, I can descend. Alright, when I save and white Ataris, I can descend. And at this point, my opponent did resign. Yeah, after I killed this bottom, you can see that if white captures, I can capture back, which threatens to take away this eye, right? But then I can capture here, save these 2 stones. So if white saves those 2 stones, then I can actually play here and take out the eye. So yeah, pretty cool life and death on the bottom, and pretty good sacrifice on the left side. Kind of disappointed on how I dealt with this right group, but besides that, I think it was a pretty good game by me. Definitely ended the Go Congress on a high note, having a 6 down resign. It was very felt very good. But yeah, my overall Congress experience was mixed feelings, as you can probably guess. But overall, of course, I had fun. I learned a lot. Shout outs to Ohio crew who came out and played and supported. Let's see. Shout outs to Richard, my good buddy. I was very happy to have you there, Mark. Always a pleasure having you around. Jerry, thank you for all the tutelage you've given me. Steve, thank you for being there, supporting. Ben, Terry, Terry was there too. Shout outs to Terry, my brother. I think that's everyone from Ohio that I'm at least like close with at least. Yeah, shout outs to Brendan, my Go Congress buddy. It was nice seeing you again this year. And yeah, it was a good experience. I learned a lot. Again, games weren't the greatest. Lots of mixed feelings about the games, but there's always next year, and I'm always trying to get better. So I take all these games as a lesson, right? So I now know what I need to work on, and for the next tournament, I will hopefully be better prepared and will play overall better. And it's all just baby steps to trying to reach 6 dan. Because I can beat 6 dans, but I just gotta get to 6 dan, and then keep climbing from there. Yeah, something funny about the Congress though. I noticed I was in rated games. I was 0-4 against 5 dans. I didn't beat a single 5 dan. Because I played in the Die Hard tournament. I played one round of the Die Hard against a 5 dan and I lost. So that was 0. So I lost another rated game there against a 5 dan. But I beat everyone else in a ranked game. Like I beat 4 dans and I beat a 6 dan in ranked games. So I guess that averages out to 5 dan. Who knows? But anyways, I'm rambling. I should end this video. If you have any comments or questions about the game, please leave them in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.